Hey everyone, welcome to MXPGolf.com. My name is Max. I'm a PGA Club professional and a fellow of applied functional science with the Gray Institute, and this video is all about lower back pain for golfers. Something that I know that a lot of golfers out there are struggling with. Me personally has gone through a period where my back hurt like crazy and really ruined my golf game and actually made it impossible to play. But I know there are a lot of you out there who are in constant pain and that maybe have been for years, if not decades, or just are worried to get into pain or start feeling that pain, or just don't know what to do when that problem arises. So what I wanted to do in this video is mainly actually share some of my exercises that I do with all golfers who come to me who have a problem with their lower back, but also explain a little bit about the issue itself and how you can kind of help yourself get out of it, at least to start with. That being said, I don't know anything particularly about you and your problem. This is a very general idea. This is a very general set of rules that I'm working with just to help players improve, and I help a ton of players with the lower back pain through these exercises, but that might not be the solution for you. So just keep that in mind, have an open mind, try it out, listen to me, test the exercises and see if this can help you relieve that lower back pain. Before we get to the exercises themselves, and in about 5 minutes you can do wonders for your lower back, but before we get there, as I mentioned, let's just talk a little bit more about lower back pain and what we know about it, because the conventional way of looking at it is pretty much outdated by now. You have probably heard, if you have had this issue before, that if you're working the strength of your core muscles, if you strengthen up the area, your back pain is going to go away, which it might do, it might help. But in my experience, I've met a lot of golfers, and I'm one of those myself, who strengthened my core a lot and still had problems with the lower back. So what is really going on, in my view, is quite obvious that your lower back has got some movement in it, in all three planes of motion, the sagittal, the frontal, and the transverse, but it's not supposed to move that much. You have more movement above it in your thoracic spine, you've got a lot more movement in your hips below. However, if you're limited in one of these areas, you're probably going to take out a lot of the movement in your lower back, which pretty much means that if you're got limited mobility in your hips, your thoracic spine, or both at the same time, you're probably going to have some kind of a problem with your lower back eventually. By my experience, by my knowledge, or by what I've experienced, I pretty much see everyone who has lower back pain has problem with their hips. Maybe not problems, so to speak, but they have limited mobility, and by that, they take out a lot of the movement in their lower back. By my experience also, when you come look at the golf swing, it might be connected to a technical standpoint or technical part of the swing, but usually it's simply just your body can't take the forces you're putting into it, and your lower back has to do a lot of work that it's not supposed to do, which makes it eventually say no. So rather than actually going after this area here, trying to strengthen the core or whatever, let's focus on the real problem. And to be honest, we see a lot of studies today showing that lower back pain actually comes from limited mobility in your hips. In golfers and in humans in general, there seems to be a pretty huge correlation between limited hip mobility and your lower back. So actually, let's focus more on that rather than trying to strengthen the core, because in my view, doing sit-ups, doing planks, might help. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but by my experience, it hasn't helped a lot of golfers that I know to actually remove the problem completely, while some great movements for your hips are definitely going to help you do that. So in my world, all you need is 5 minutes a day, and you can make a huge difference in your lower back pain. It's not certain that your lower back pain is coming from limited hip mobility, but the worst thing that can happen is that you get even more mobile hips, which is probably not going to be an issue either way, and the best thing that can happen is that you actually get better. So what I want to show you is what I usually do for players who have lower back pain and want to get rid of it, just to increase their mobility in the hips. Something you can do at home, at the golf course, at the office, wherever you're at. Give it about 5 minutes and you'll be golden to help your lower back move better, or help your hips move better, and through that, help your lower back move better, and all of that equals you having less lower back pain, enjoying golf more. Might also, no spoilers, but might also help you increase your driving distance a little bit, so why not? Feel better, hit the ball further, maybe even straighter. Let's get into it. These exercises are very basic, but they're also very, very effective. And if something, we see a lot of limitation in the rotational plane, or rather in the transverse plane, but in my experience, we need to work on all 3 planes of motion in the hip just to get that results that we are looking for in the golf swing and to help you relieve that lower back pain. So what I want you to do is simply put one foot forward, just like you take a step. I want you to keep both your heels in the ground when you're doing this. I want you from here just to put your hands in your pelvis and drive that lead knee over the lead foot. I'm just going to help facilitate some of that extension in the back hip. Beautiful. Let's do 2 more. Perfect. And from here, we're going to do the same thing 5 times, but we're actually going to drive the knee on the outside of the lead foot. So you're going to get that extension and a little bit of a triplane movement. And let's keep going. We're going to take that front knee, drive it in the inside of the front foot. Once again, keep those heels in the ground. Feel that nice stretch on the right hip or the back hip. Beautiful. And from here, we're going back to the setup position. And from right here, we're just going to drive the pelvis from side to side, getting some of that frontal movement, abduction and adduction in both hips. But mainly, we're focusing on the back hip right now. Just go do the movements as big as you can, still feeling comfortable. We don't want to feel any pain. We don't want to feel any pinching in the lower back when doing this. So once again, tweak the movements for your level of comfort. Let's do 1 more each side. Get back up to starting position. Here comes my personal favorite. I want you to take your hands in your pelvis and to rotate it. Spin around as much as you can, as big a circle as you can. You can't do these enough, and I really love the feeling of them. Once again, we want to keep that back heel in the ground. Beautiful. And we're going to just switch the directions. We're going to keep doing these circles, but we're going to go the other way around. Beautiful. Perfect. And we, of course, we're going to do it on the other side. The other side forward, other foot forward, both heels in the ground. We're going to drive that front knee over the front foot. Feel that lengthening of the hip, the extension of the left hip for me right now. And from there, we're going to drive the lead knee on the outside of the lead foot. Beautiful. And from here, we're doing the same thing, but on the inside of the front foot. Perfect. Get back to starting position. We're doing this for the frontal plane, side to side. Perfect. 1 more each side. We're going into our circles. We're just circle around that pelvis. As big of a circle that you can do. Once again, be comfortable, tweak the movement, find your way of doing it. Let's do 2 more. And the other way around. Perfect. From here, we're going to do the same movements, but we're going to do them with a foot driver rather than using the pelvis as a driver. So what I want you to do is simply stand nice and tall. We're going to work with our right foot first. We're going to take 1 step out. We're going to try to keep that back heel in the ground. So we're just going to step out, come back. So no big steps. We're going to do 5 of those. And from here, we're going to do the same thing but backwards. So 5, coming back. Make sure we keep the heels in the ground. No need for a big step. I think that's 4 and 5. So that's our sagittal plane, forwards and backwards. Then we're going to do our that's our sagittal plane, forward and backwards. And then we're going to do our frontal plane side to side. So we're going to still work with that right foot. Go out to the right, come back. Once again, keeping both heels in the ground. Make sure that we're moving. Just feel what you need. You might be able to take a bigger step than me or a shorter step. No right or wrong, simply just what you need. And from here, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to cross over right foot in front of the left, come back. So what we're doing is simply facilitating movement in, right now, mainly the left hip, but we're going to do it in both, of course. 1 more, Beautiful. From here, we're taking our right foot, stepping out to about 90 degrees. We don't have to walk on a line, so I'm not taking my right foot straight back. I'm actually stepping out a little bit, so you can see the distance between my feet increasing as I'm rotating out that right foot. Take the ice along. Do 5 of those. Beautiful. And then we've got the internal rotation as well. So we're going to take the right foot, step in front of our left. Ice follow along, 5 of those. So next what we're going to do, we're going to go into that internal rotation of the left hip. So we're taking the right foot, stepping in front, doing 5 of those. Ice follow along. And beautiful. Of course, we're doing the same thing on the other side. We're stationary with our right foot, left going forward 5 times, heels in the ground. Beautiful. Left foot going backwards 5 times, both heels in the ground. And our left foot going to the left, both heels in the ground. And we're crossing over the right with the left. Once again, both heels in the ground. And we're opening up with that left foot. Keep your eyes following along. No need to put any stress on our upper back or spine. Just let the eyes move along. 1 more. Coming from there, left foot in front of the right. 5 of those. Perfect. So these are the only movements that I'm using with a lot of the golfers out there who have lower back pain, because this is usually something that a lot of us can do without feeling the pain, but still facilitating a lot of movement in our hips. And now I did 5 repetitions of each. You can do 10, you can do 15. You can also do 5 repetitions of each and do it several times a day. It's just going to help you increase that movement even more. So no need to just do these 5. You can do more. As I said, tweak them for your level and see if that can help the mobility of your hips, which is then actually going to help you with your lower back pain, most likely. So we better understand why we get the lower back pain. Now let's do something about it and help you improve your golf game. Thank you very much for watching mxpgolf.com. If you try these exercises and feel a difference, please let me know how you feel down below in the comments. I love to hear more about it. Thank you for watching mxpgolf.com. If you tried these movements, if you tried these exercises, please let me know what you think of them in the comment section below. Once again, if you want to help out, subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the notification button, and why not like the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.